Hey guys. So, hey, I'm live over on Facebook and I'm live on, I was about to say on Instagram. The joys of live streaming. This is not Instagram. This is YouTube. Hello, YouTube world. So I am coming to you for episode 17. What? 17 already? Yes, episode 17 of Speak Easy. You guys know that literally Speak Easy is when I come and talk to you guys about the behind the scenes of what it means to be the motivational speaker, the author, the paid motivational speaker, the paid author. And, you know, we talk about some tips, some tricks. We talk about some stuff behind the scenes. And today is no different. Today is no different. So episode 13. Look, I can't talk today, y'all. Oh my goodness. Episode 17 is all about what are you worth versus what do people think you're worth. Oh my goodness, that part. Hey D. Hey D Morris. So guys, I am live over on Facebook as well as here on YouTube. Those who are on Facebook, you can join me on YouTube by going to Altavice Pelzer on YouTube and check out my YouTube channel. I'm super excited about that. But guess what? What are you worth versus what do you charge? That part. Now let's be honest. A lot of times people are at both ends of the spectrum. They either overcharge, we've seen a lot of that, or they undercharge. And it's very hard to find your middle ground and that point in between to where you're charging what you're actually worth. I'm going to tell you what people do. So we're going to have some real talk moments. Real talk. Y'all know I love doing real talk moments with you guys. We're going to have some real talk moments because a lot of times we either underestimate ourselves or we go above and beyond. Like we go way off the grid with it, right? So we look at what other people are being, are charging when it comes to speaking, when it comes to their books. And we go way off grid and we're like, yeah, I'm going to charge that amount. So are you worth that amount? Let's just be clear here. Let's be clear. Let's be honest. Let's be real. And so when we think about the whole, hey, Mike, when we think about what it is, what you're worth versus what people think you're worth, it's a combination of things. As a speaker, as an author, you decide how much your book should be. You decide how much you should be. Because again, as the speaker, as the author, we are the brand. As the speaker, as an author, we are the brand. We are the business. I'm a businessman, not a businessman. So listen, you got to go and we got to learn some things about the business when it comes to pricing ourselves right. Hey, Flo, thanks for sharing. When it comes to pricing ourselves right. Hey, Martin. Hey, Marcus. So oftentimes we go about pricing ourselves completely backwards. Completely. I'm going to tell you some of the things that we do. I say me included because I used to do it as well, is that we research what other people are getting charged or what other people are charging when it comes to their books, or we research what other people are charging when it comes to them speaking. Guess what? We're not that other person. We're not. We're not them. We don't have the same expertise. Hey, Michael. We don't have the same expertise. We don't have the same level of experience, but we're charging the same amount. Not always a good idea. So this is what I want you guys to understand is that, yeah, we should do the research to see what in the market, what our products and services cost in the market. Thank you for sharing, Michael. What our products and services really cost in the market. But we also need to put into account what it is that we're actually offering. See, some of you are looking at other people's prices and price points and what they're giving out and what they're giving away for free, what they're charging people for. But the reality of it is that we don't have the same level of experience, or we may have the same level of experience, but people don't know that. Right? Because Facebook has been acting up, but it's all right. I'm on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So I got you guys. I got you. But, literally, what is it that you're going through? What are you actually looking at when it comes to pricing yourself? One thing that you're looking at when it comes to pricing yourself, thanks for sharing, Martin, is you're looking at your experience, your level of wisdom. What do you know? Hello? That's what people are paying for. They're paying for your expertise. You are the expert, but are you acting like the expert? Do you look like the expert? Do you sound like the expert? Because if not, they're not going to pay you like an expert. I'll repeat that one for the cheap seats. Do you look like an expert? Do you sound like an expert? And what are you really doing? Because they're not going to pay you like the expert if you don't look and sound and act like an expert. They're not going to pay you like an expert. Hey, Joyce. And so you really need to get to that understanding that there's so many things that we can accomplish, so many things that we can do. We can reach these high levels of being paid $5,000 and $10,000 for speaking on a platform. But do you look like it? Do you sound like it? And do you act like it? Because if you don't, woo! Right, Martin? Look. It has to be a parallel topic and business. Guess what? And if it is not, you are fooling yourself in thinking that you're going to receive the same amount that somebody else received on their platform. That's just real. I know that I speak about molestation. I speak about abuse. Why? Because I'm the expert at it. I understand what you go through mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. I understand the process of healing. I understand what it takes to heal. I understand about being a people pleaser and thinking that everybody is not going to believe you if you tell your story. I know all of that part because I'm the expert in that part. But I'm not going to go and speak to people about what it means to fix a transmission because I don't know what that is. And even if I go Google it, which some of you are doing, even if I go Google it, I'm still not going to know how to fix a transmission. And I'm still not going to know it in enough capacity to be able to teach somebody else. We really have to understand what level we're on. What's the foundation we have? What's the playing field that we're on? Because listen, if we go out here talking about, oh, I'm worth $5,000, and you get there and you're worth $5, that puts a bad taste in people's mouths. It does. As a speaker, as an author, if somebody buys the book and pays $10 for the book, is the book worth the $10 that they invested? If somebody pays $1,000 to have you come speak, is your content really worth the investment? And if it's not, we have a problem. We got a problem. And so a lot of times we've really been fighting this thing because we've been saying, oh, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I'm worth it. What are you really worth, though? How many books have you read? And so literally I did this, and I'll do it with you guys here online. I did this with some of my clients in one of our 3-week intensives. So I do a 3-week intensive, and a 3-week intensive is like a slap in the face, kick your butt off the curb, off the cliff. Let's go. Let's get it done. Stop. No excuses. Stop with all the playing. Let's go. That's what the 3-week intensive is all about. And so people have come out of it with book titles and ideas. People have come out of it with product ideas. They've come out of it with a lot, and they're moving forward with the stuff they've come out of it with. But I really need y'all to gain access to this understanding. So, hold please. See, can you hear me? So I really want you to come to this understanding and quick. The envelope. This? Yeah. So this is the thing. And I did this, and when I did it for them, they hate Zane. When I did it and I worked it out in this way, it changed their mindset. And see, that's what I'm always about. I'm always about being able to change your mindset. When it comes to being the speaker, when it comes to being the author, I'm always about changing your mindset. Can I change your mindset? If I can't change your mindset, then it will mean absolutely nothing for you to be in my class. It will mean absolutely nothing for me to coach you. It will mean absolutely nothing. We have to change our mindset about who we are, who we are, who we serve, and how we serve. So let's look at this. And I'm going to break it down for y'all. Y'all ready? Put a ready in the comments if you're ready for this. Put a ready in the comments. Because this is what I really need you to understand and to get with all that get an understanding. I need you to understand this one. Those on Facebook, thank you for sharing out the broadcast. Thank you for the reactions. Those on Facebook, on YouTube, thank you for the likes and the shares. I definitely appreciate it. For those who are coming in for the first time, my name is Altavice Pelzer. I am the voice coach, not a voice coach, but the voice coach. I am a motivational speaker, certified life coach, and Amazon best-selling author. I currently have 5 books on Amazon with another 2 that will actually be on this week. By the end of the year, I should have up to about 20. I'm working on it. I'm putting in work. So I definitely need you guys to have this understanding when it comes to what you're really worth. I'll do it like this though. And this is something that I do in the 3-week intensive. And so put down, okay, so how many books have you read in the past, I'll say the past month, 4 weeks? How many books have you read? I've read 1, 2, 3, 4. I've read 5. How many books have you read in the past month? See, for me, I've read 5. I have the books on Audible. I have books that I'm always reading books as well. I'm part of a book club with my coach. So I'm always reading. Reading is important. So if reading is important, let's look at this. Let's just do this piece. If I read 5 books, and this is just a small piece. Hey, Alyssa. Hey, sis. This is just a small piece. If I read 5 books in the last 4 weeks, and I literally could charge somebody $100 per book that I've read because of the information that I gained from it. Hey, Deidre. That's $500 that I can charge somebody just from the 5 books that I've read. Now, that's just in the last month. If I've read more than 5 books, that's more that I could charge. Now, this is the $100 a book is just a general idea. But just stick with me for a minute. Stick with me. So $100 a book. If I've read 5 books within the last month, then I would be able to charge somebody right here, right now, $500 just from that 5 books that I've read. That part. So $500, that's just from books that I've read. That's from the information that I gathered. Now, that's not saying that I'm running around and I'm reading books, Harry Potter books. That's not saying that I'm running around and reading books that aren't business oriented. I'm talking about business books. I'm talking about books that are connected to my field of study, connected to who I am, who I serve, and how I serve. So we're talking about reading with a purpose. That's not to say we can't read Harry Potter on the weekends or whatever we want to do, but are we reading with a purpose? So 5 books, $100 a book. That brings me to $500 that I can charge somebody for me coming to speak. That's just the books that I've read. Did you graduate college? Do you have a degree in the field that you're speaking on? Let's say that adds $1,000. Again, these are just makeup numbers, but I want you to see what it really feels like to start pricing yourself. And that one was books. This one is, I'll say, a degree. So if I got 1 degree, an associate's degree, we'll say that may add $500. And then I have a bachelor's degree that adds $1,000. So now I'm currently at $2,000 that I can say somebody has to pay me in order for me to come speak. That's because I've spent time in school learning about my craft, learning about my technique, learning about what it is that I'm talking about or my target. That means that I've read books about my particular target. I've learned about what it is they do. I know the statistics, that part. But let's take it a little further. So we have the degree, we have the books. How many of you have certifications in whatever field you're working in? Whatever field that's going to be your topic, whatever field that's going to be what you're writing about. Okay, let's say you have 2 certifications, and we'll say $250 a certification. That's another $500. So now we're up to $2,500. Do you see how it adds up when you invest in yourself? Oh, let's take that moment. When you invest in yourself, then what you invested in yourself is what you're able to take to the next person and sow into them. That's what you're able to invest in your clients. That's what you're able to invest in your students. bit.ly/live loud now is the 3-week intensive. The next one starts July 9th. 3-week intensive. And so literally, okay, so now we're at 2,500, right? That's certifications, that's degrees, and that's books. Does anybody have life experiences in the field that they're talking about? Meaning we got some dirt in the game. We done been through some things. We got some dirt on our elbows. We got a couple bruises. We got a couple scrapes. If so, that adds to what your value is. It does. It adds to what your value is. And so guess what? That adds to how much you can charge. So even if you say your experience is only worth $500, we just added another $500 for experience, and I can guarantee you that most of your experience is worth a whole lot more than that. So now we're at $3,000. Simple, right? There's no way that you can say that you're not worth that, because we just put it down on paper that you are worth it. Now, this is where it comes into play, is that sometimes we don't talk about what we have to offer. So guess what? People don't know that you're worth that $3,000. So I don't always talk about the certification that I have. I don't always talk about the degrees. I have a degree in social behavioral health. I don't always talk about the degree that I have. I don't talk about those things, and it devalues us as a person sometimes. I talk about the experience, which is why I get a lot of people who connect with me, who want to be in my classes, who reach out to me to talk to me, is because I tell them about the experience. But what about the fact that I have a degree? What about the fact that I have certification? What about the fact that I'm reading books, 1 and 2 books a week? What about the fact that I'm going and I'm taking classes to learn more, not just more about the business? Because can I tell you something honestly? Because we know that we are the business as the entrepreneur, as the speaker, as the author. We are the business. We are the brand. But can I tell you something a little even different? Hey, Tracy. Hey, sis. Can I tell you something even a little different? Is that once we look at all that we put on paper and we determine what we're worth, now it's time for us to present it in a way that people understand that's what we're worth. So if I'm not taking, if I'm working and taking classes and webinars all the time to build the business, and I'm not ever taking classes and webinars to build my clients, then guess what? That means that I'm more worried about the business aspect as opposed to my clients. Hey, Frazier, I'm more worried about my business than the clients. Then we have gone out of it being about service. We have completely gone away from it being about service, and we're more focused on the finances. We're more focused on the day-to-day. And a lot of times when we get so focused on the day-to-day, we miss out on things. Thanks for sharing, Frazier. We miss out on things. When we're so focused about being in our inbox and responding to emails and being on social media to put out things on social media all the time, and we're always, doing, then we don't take the time to sit back and say, okay, what do I have now to invest in my clients? See, the reason why we're able to see people take their prices to a different level is because they've invested in themselves. They've invested in themselves mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. They've invested in themselves. They've taken the time out to sit back and say, okay, I really need to talk about this. I really need to do X, Y, and Z. Let me take this class so that way I know it'll be something worthwhile for my clients. Let me go ahead and, read this book. It'll be something that's interesting to my target. They look at all of those things. So for those who are just coming in, thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing out the broadcast. I definitely appreciate it. I am Altavice Pelzer. I am the voice coach, not a voice coach, but the voice coach, coming to you for episode 17 of Speak Easy. I'm super excited about that. I'm currently live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Super excited, guys, as I've been putting the Speak Easy videos onto YouTube and looking to build that platform as well. So if you're over there, by all means, come and check me out. And so we're talking about what you're worth versus what people think you're worth. And I just went through a whole little process. I'll go through it really quickly. I said, you know, if you could charge somebody $100 per book that you've read in the last month, how much money would you be able to charge somebody? And I know Tracy loves to read, so that's just I know my sis Tracy loves to read. She's the reader like me. We were talking about that before. But literally, how much would you be able to charge? Would you be able to charge them anything off of what you've read in the last month? A lot would say no. And my coach always talks about how there was, you know, there's somebody that said, if you want to hide something from people, you put it in a book. Big Boy Stevens, how are you doing today? If you want to hide something from somebody, you put it into a book. So literally, if you could get paid $100 per book or charge somebody $100 per book that you've read in the last month, how much would you be able to charge somebody? I said for me, it would be $500. And that's only because I have one book that I haven't finished yet, because it's a daily book. So it's going to take some time. It's a daily process. So that one's going to take some time. That's how we determine our worth. Hey, Dr. Clay, how are you doing? That's how we determine our worth. That's how we determine what we're capable of charging people. Is what do I have to offer? Is it valuable? Am I investing in myself in order for somebody else to be able to grow? Am I investing in myself so I can grow? And a lot of times people are like, oh, well, I need to go back to school and get a degree. That's not necessarily it. I know plenty of people that have degrees that do absolutely nothing with them. Imagine going to school and putting out money. Hey, Tanya. Imagine going to school and putting out money and spending $20,000, $30,000 for a slip of paper that you never use. That is literally the reality of a lot of college students who are coming out of school, who are graduating with bachelor's and master's degrees and have $100,000, $200,000. Right? Look, they got what, $100,000 in debt for a piece of paper that they don't use. So look at what you have to offer people when it comes to what you're worth, your value. What do you have to offer somebody? If you don't know what you have to offer, I can guarantee you will always undercharge. And that's why we went through this little process here. Oh, look at somebody over on YouTube. Hey, we always go through this little process here. So if every book that you've read, you can charge somebody $100, that's $500 for me. How much is it for you? That's $500 for me. That's just off of books. If you add in your degree is $1,000, how many of you have a degree? How many have a bachelor's degree? That's $1,000. If you have how many of you have an associate's degree? That's $500. Think about how these things start to add up. And as a speaker, guess what? That makes the difference. How long have you been in your field? That makes the difference. How long have you been doing these things? How many books have you written? That's another one. When you write a book, that makes you an expert in the field that you're speaking on. How many books have you written? That adds to what you're worth. And so if you have one book written, okay, that helps. But now what are you going to do? Now what are you going to do? Now how are you going to take that to the next level? Granted, again, we overcharge or we undercharge. So some of us are looking at other people and going, they're charging this, so I'm going to charge that. And you're not on that level. But then there's others who literally look at everything that they have to offer. Or maybe it's because you're not looking at everything you have to offer. And so now you're undercharging. Now you're telling people you have a class that's $15 when it should be $30 or $50 or $100. You're telling people that you have a webinar that's $25 when it actually should be a $99 webinar because of the information that you're going to share and the information that you know. That part is important. It definitely is. And so then I said your experience, that counts for something. If you've written a book, that counts for something. Guys, literally, if you're writing this down, you can see how the money starts to add up. But then you have to do one step further. Now this, adding it out on a piece of paper, that's cool. That's one part of it. That's being able to tell people, you know, what you're worth. That's fine. But the second part is you have to actually verbalize what you're worth and show what you're worth. That part. You have to actually verbalize what you're worth and show people. Actions speak louder than words do. Listen, 99.99999% of the time, actions speak louder than words do. So are you showing them what you're worth? There are people who have written a one-page book on Amazon and are charging for it and are getting paid for it. Because guess what? They're showing people that that's what they're worth. Whatever they're paying for that book, they're charging because they're saying, I'm worth this. And if you don't want to pay it, that's okay. There's somebody out there that will. And that's the other piece, is that we think that when somebody tells us that our prices are too high, we think immediately that we need to dial back our prices. Granted, if we've gone through the process of really writing out what we're worth, then why are we dialing back our prices? What are we really doing? Why are we devaluing ourselves and the information that we know? Why are we devaluing the purpose and power that we have within our hands? Why are we devaluing our voice? And so as an author, as a motivational speaker, a lot of times we devalue ourselves. Even though we have so much to offer, we have devalued exactly who we are. Our brand, our business. So guess what? If people go to the dollar store to buy things for $1, they don't go to the dollar store unless it's one like a Family Dollar or something. They don't go to the dollar store to buy something for $20. If it's a Dollar Tree, they go to the dollar store to buy something for $1. So that means this is the brick. Y'all ready? This is a brick. Some of y'all need to understand that if you don't want people thinking that you're dollar store quality, you need to get out the dollar store. Ouch. Ouch. Some of y'all are in the wrong places. You're in the wrong places when it comes to social media. You're in the wrong places when it comes to who you have as a coach. You're in the wrong place. So because you're in a dollar store, people think you're worth $1. That brick. I know that hurt, right? Ooh, that stung a little bit. Ooh, that stung just a little bit, y'all. It stung. Ooh, ouch. That stung just a little bit. But it's the truth. So we need to be doing our research. What is it that I really have to offer? I challenge you as authors, as speakers, to write that down. What is it that you really have to offer? You have a lot to offer. Get out there. Let people know who you are, who you serve, how you serve. Y'all already know, right? I'm going to beat that into y'all here before the end of 2017. Y'all will understand that before the end of 2017. Who I serve, how I serve, and who I am. by the end of 2017. You will know that by heart. We have some things to look at when it comes to our value and our worth. What are we charging people? How are we charging people? And how are we looking at what we're, our value? Are we dollar store value? Are we Macy's value? Or are we Jacob the jeweler value? Are we custom made? Because see, I'm custom made. I believe that with all my heart. That as a unicorn, those who do not know I'm the unicorn, as the unicorn that I am, I'm custom made. Hey Joyce, as the unicorn that I am, I'm custom made. There's nobody else like me. There's nobody else that sounds like me. Even if people take my content, there's nobody else that's going to sound like me. There's nobody else that's going to move like me. There's nobody else that's going to be me. And my kids are trying to burn down the house while I'm live, y'all. This is what happens when you have teenagers who cook.
No, this is what happens when you have Andra cook. No.
Yeah, guys. That really did happen. Hey, Carol. That's what happens when we have teenagers that cook.
Shut up. Thank you.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it, right? Gotta love it. I decided to be in the living room to do the do the speakeasy, and they setting the house on fire. Jesus, Lord of mercy. What are you worth? What are you worth? What are you worth? What is your value? What are you worth? And don't devalue yourself. Don't undervalue yourself, but really look at what it is that you're really worth. Y'all can't make this stuff up.
Are you serious? Oh, shut up, baby.
Yeah, I can't make this up. I can't.
I apologize.
We're sorry.
Wait, let me just...
I can't make this up, y'all.
Let me just keep it going.
It's hot well, you don't know when it's hot outside. If you got the oven on or the stove on, it's like it's super hot and they setting off alarms.
It's always secret.
Why don't you turn on the air, crazy?
Yo!
But y'all told me not to. I'm so confused.
Hey, Jacqueline. Yeah, I can't make this stuff up, y'all.
Go back to your life.
Is this at the... Mom, is this the highest speed?
I don't know. Right, Deidre? I can't make this stuff up. This is every day, y'all. Everyday shenanigans. But that's all right. I gotta love them. Because they do cook. They don't burn the food.
I don't do anything! Bro, I just turned on the stove to low. No, I'm done. I quit. Oh, shut up.
And I know it's just from the heat because it got real hot in here. Because she's doing it. Right?
Fossil, are you good? We're good, I promise.
Bro, I turned the stove off to low. No. The grilled cheese is not even done yet. The cheese not even melted. Like...
Yo, I can't make this stuff up, y'all. This is real life here. That's what I get for doing speak easy in a living room. I knew I should have went outside.
Okay, you should be good. There you go. You get a burnt grilled cheese. There you go.
Yo. No, don't cook for my grilled cheese, bro.
Okay, I gotta go. Oh, Lord, that is too funny. But those who came in, thank you so much for joining me live. My cheeks hurt right now. My cheeks hurt right now. Like, oh, my goodness. So, again, what is your value? What are you worth? And when we're you know, putting that back and forth, we really need to understand, okay, how am I really, you know, judging myself when it comes to what I'm worth and what I value, what value I bring to my clients. Oh, God. Oh, my cheeks hurt so bad right now, yo.
So sorry.
That is too funny. Oh, Jesus. Whew, can't make this stuff up, y'all. So I love you guys. Let me go make sure that they don't burn down the house. And I will talk to you guys later. See you, YouTube. You guys have a great, great afternoon.